Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports, Cigars, and Coffee. I'm Coach Dave. We're going to be wrapping up week 5 of the NFL, week 6 of the NCAA. In football, looking ahead to week 6 of the NFL, week 7 of college football, Major League Playoffs. American League is set in the ALCS. National League in the NLCS, one spot remains open. It could be filled tonight. Started off with a Drew Estate Nightshade. This is a Nicaragua is where this is from, with a Connecticut River Valley wrapper. It is a medium to full-bodied cigar, and it is a Dominican Republic filler, and the binder is Indonesian. So this is a very smooth cigar, very affordable. You could get it at blindmanspuffcigar.com website for $6.50. Very affordable cigar. I like it. I like Drew Estate. I do like their cigars. So heading into week 5, we had one matchup that was supposed to be the matchup of the year. Well, that turned out to be a blowout. The Bears get their first win, and they actually, the last 2 weeks, even when they lost to Denver, offense is looking better. Giants' offensive line is just a mess. I don't even know where to begin. As a former offensive lineman, I just shake my head. I feel sorry for Giant fans. I really do. As an Eagles fan, I shouldn't, but I do have family and friends who are Giants fans, and I generally feel sorry for them. I mean, it's one thing to lose, but when you lose with your left tackle being a turnstile, as my brother, who's a Giants fan, dubbed Evan Neal, the whiplash lookout block is not going to work. The Jags take down Buffalo. Jets win for Hack. And the Eagles get another gritty home win. And I use home in quotations because the game was in LA at SoFi Stadium, and the place sounded like Lincoln Financial Field. In fact, Rams had to go to a silent count in the second half. So let's take a look at my picks that I made last week on the 4 NFL games. We had the Monday night game, Raiders and Packers. I had the Packers winning 31-29. The Raiders actually came out and won this game to my surprise, 17-13. Interception in the end zone with just about 2 minutes left to go in the game. Sealed it for the Raiders. Jordan Love is up and down. 2 drives, he looks horrible. Next drive, he looks good. He just can't find any consistency. Give the Raiders credit. I had them dead. I had them dead to right. This week, I had them dead in the waters for the season. I had them having a top 5 pick. So we'll see if this springboards them into winning a few games. The Sunday night game was supposed to be the game of the century, the Cowboys and the 49ers, but someone forgot to tell the Cowboys that because they got beat 42-10. I did pick the 49ers to win this game in a nail-biter, 26-20. I really thought the defense of Dallas would not stop Brock Purdy and Samuel and Kittles and McCaffrey, but slow them down enough to get some 3-and-outs, to get some punts, to get a turnover, to give that Dallas offense a chance with a short field. Boy, was I wrong. San Francisco just kicked the living crap out of them in all phases. Coaching, offense, defense, specialty teams. It was just the Cowboys, like one man said, they are who we thought they are. 1 week, they look like they're the greatest team on earth. And then the next week, it's no shame losing to the 49ers, but it's how they lost. Just the manhandled, to be physically dominated, mentally dominated, emotionally dominated. The Cowboys are who we thought they are. It's the same thing every year. Rinse, repeat, recycle. It's the same thing. They beat the teams who they're supposed to beat. Everybody gets on the bandwagon, and then they get blown out. But I certainly didn't see the blowout coming. I thought this was going to be a nice, tight game with the defenses kind of taking over. And San Francisco just laid the lumber to them. It'll be interesting to see where the Cowboys go this Monday night coming up with the Chargers. That's not an easy game. The Chargers certainly can beat them. Steelers and Ravens, I said it was going to be a typical Steelers-Ravens game where the offense will make your eyes bleed and the defenses will shine, and I was right. I picked Baltimore 19-13, but Pittsburgh circled the wagons. Somehow came away with a 17-10 win. Game-winning touchdown pass, Pickett to Pickens, was actually an audible on a go route in which Pickett saw one-on-one and audible to the go route. And if you saw footage of the touchdown, everybody in the Steeler press box, in the offensive press box, in the coach's box, is going crazy. They're high-fiving, they're jumping, and there's Matt Canada looking like a flippin' grump because the call that he made did not win the touchdown game, and the Steelers, Pickett just got to do the old, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, and just call his own game. Because that's what Ben did at the end of his career with Canada. He'd stand there like this and put his arms up and then just call something. Because Matt Canada is by far the worst offensive coordinator, I think, in the NFL. They have a championship-style defense. They have a kicker who can win them games. Their offense doesn't really need to be explosive. Their offense just needs to be competent. If the Steelers' offense can get competent, they're going to win the division. And I don't care what Cincinnati does. Because you got Watt and Hightower on the outside, putting pressure. I think Watt is up to 8 sacks already. Hightower had, I think, a sack and a half or 2 sacks and a sack strip that Watt recovered. I mean, those two guys are the Steelers' MVP right now. I said that TJ Watt and Michael Parsons were going to be the two battling for Defensive Player of the Year, but right now I think TJ Watt's ahead of them. And especially with Micah's disappearing act like Houdini against the 49ers. Then we had the Giants and Dolphins. I picked this game. Not only did I pick the winner, Miami, I picked the exact score. 31-16. The Giants' offensive line is a mess. They got the quarterback killed. They got Barkley killed. The left tackle. How is he on a roster? And then he goes out and complains about fans booing him. My goodness, dude! It's the burger flippers that you called out are the ones that pay your salary. You don't pick a fight with the fans. You're never going to win. Maybe if he tried, maybe if he was given 100%, but he was just getting beat, you can say, okay, get this guy out. He's trying, he's playing hard, but he's just not good enough to sustain a block. As a fan, you can live with that. You can live with effort. You can live with a guy who's busting his butt, who cares about his teammate, who cares if his quarterback is getting killed. Evan Neal doesn't care. He just gets that paycheck every Tuesday. He doesn't care. Daniel Jones now has a neck injury, and this is his second neck injury in 3 years. So I hope it's not career-threatening. But come on, you got to have some passion. You got to have something. You got to have a drive to make sure your quarterback doesn't get hit. And if you can't block the guy, at least hold him something. keep your quarterback on his feet. But the Giants' offensive line is ravaged by injury. It's ravaged by inconsistent play. It's ravaged by the guys who aren't hurt stink. And like I said before, I really feel bad for Giants fans. Uh, you know, the offensive line and linebackers were ignored in free agency and draft for the last 2 to 3 years, maybe more. Maybe those Giants fans can comment and clue me in because I'm not, in tune as much. But my goodness, when you can't block, you can't pass, you can't run, you can't win. So the Giants got Buffalo this week on Sunday night. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that game. And then my Eagles go on the road and take care of business like they usually do. They were down 14-7. They were down 14-10 right before halftime, and then they went right down the field. A big pass to A.J. Brown, and then a horse collar penalty, which is kind of questionable, but I'll take it. A pass interference in the end zone, put the ball at the 1 yard line, and we knew it was coming. Everybody in the stadium knew it was coming. Everybody watching knew it was coming. All 22 players on the football field knew it was coming. And still, Aaron Donald and a very good Rams defensive line just blowing off the ball. Jalen Hurts ended up about 2 yards deep in the end zone. Brotherly shove, baby. It's the best play in football besides the victory formation. And I don't care what people say. I know there's a section of the population that wants to ban it because it's not a football play. It really is. I mean, and here's why they should not ban it. We see the athleticism of receivers on go routes, on slants, on sluggos, on digs, on post. We see running back with their athleticism hitting the hole, backs, counterback. We see quarterback eluding the pass rush. We see quarterbacks run and showcase their athleticism. It's about time the big uglies get some showcase. It's about time, and I can say this because I was one of them. I was a fat boy up front. It's about time a play is about the fat boys. And I mean that with the highest respect in the world. That play is perfectly executed by the offensive line, perfectly schemed by Jeff Stoutland, the best offensive line coach in football, perfectly run by a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who could squat 600 pounds. Now, we have these people crying that it should be banned. It shouldn't be banned. It shouldn't be banned because one team can perfect it and make it unstoppable while the rest of the league can't. The Eagles are at a 92.5% rate. The rest of the league is at an 80% rate. So there's no reason to ban it. Now, the NFL and the NFLPA have come up with an agreement to look at injury data on the play. I'll tell you, in the 3 years that the Eagles have been running this, and really the last year is when they started really getting that push, brotherly shove, not one Eagle has been injured. Not one Eagle has been injured running this play. Now, I know a couple Giants got hurt when they tried to run it a few weeks ago. I'll tell you what, NFL and NFLPA, why didn't you do injury data on turf? Yes, you're all about player safety, right? You're all about player safety comes first. Why in 2023 do we still have turf? Explain that to me. How many players have gotten hurt on the turf in a non-contact leg injury? It just happened this week with Travis Kelce. He caught the ball, tried to make a cut. The turf was kind of spongy because they put those black pellets in it. His foot gave out and he turned his ankle. He's lucky he didn't break his ankle. For the amount of money that the NFL owners pay NFL players, and for the amount of money that is generated, for the amount of money that is made, you think they would want a playing surface that is safe for the players. Now, what's funny is when the World Cup is in North America, guess what the NFL stadiums have to do that have turf? They have to rip the turf up and put grass down. Why can't they do that? And I'm glad. I'm happy. I'm happy the soccer players during the World Cup, men's World Cup that's coming um, between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. I'm glad it's all on grass. Now it's time for the NFL and Major League Baseball to do the same thing. Enough playing on turf. There's my turf rant and brotherly shove rant for the show. The Jets outlasted the Broncos 31-21, which was an interesting game considering Sean Payton called out the Broncos, former Broncos head coach Neil Hackett, who's now the offensive coordinator in New York with the Jets. And you can tell that the Jets had this game circled. And I'm not a fan of Sean Payton. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a little overrated. He thinks he invented football, especially after his onside kick was successful in the Super Bowl. Good for him. But there's just something about him that rubs me the wrong way. So I'm glad he's getting humbled right now. And then we had the Jags out in London take down the Bills. And the Bills are hard to figure out. Excuse me. The Bills are hard to figure out. They blow out Miami, then they lose to Jacksonville. They got the Giants this week, so I don't know what to expect from them. They should beat the Giants, but I don't know what to expect. Josh Allen is teetering on NFL MVP, but then he goes out and plays a game like he did against Jacksonville, and I think Jacksonville's the best team in the AFC South. They have a big one coming up this week against the Colts. That's going to be for first place in the division. But I think Jacksonville's a better team, especially now with the Colts losing Anthony Richardson. That injury is going to see how that pans out. But Jacksonville just, they have the quarterback, they have the receivers with Ridley. They have the tight end Ingram. They have a running back with ETN. So they have the pieces. The offensive line is pretty good. Their defense is pretty good. So they definitely have the pieces to win the division, which I think they will eventually. I think they're going to rise. Like Macho Man said, the cream will rise to the top. That's going to be Jacksonville. And then finally, congratulations, Chicago. You laid the lumber to Washington, which was beautiful to watch. Last week couldn't be better for the Eagles. They win, and the rest of the division loses. But I was happy for the Bears and their fans. They deserve the win. Justin Fields played great, but DJ Moore, my goodness, have a night, son. Holy moly. He had 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards receiving. The Bears, they're finally looking like, I think they're starting to use Justin Fields the way he should be used. Get him out of pocket. Get him on the move. Give him some read options. Give him some options to throw or run. So hopefully now he could take that step forward. Him and DJ Moore could take that step. Because I have Bear fans that I have friends that are Bears fans, and I just feel so bad for them. They lost 14 in a row over 2 seasons. So I'm glad they got the win. So hope, we'll see what happens moving forward with them. So we have this week, the bye teams heading into week 6 are the Packers and Steelers. I thought that's all I saw listed. If there's more, I apologize. So tonight, this is actually being recorded on Thursday. So tonight, Thursday Night Football, Broncos and Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, Taylor Swift, I did get an alert that Taylor Swift is going to be in attendance. And Kansas City is going to win 34-10. And it might not even, it's not even going to be that close. Andy Reid has class. He's not going to run it up. But 34-10, it's going to be a controlled scrimmage for the Chiefs, and they're going to win. Sunday Night Football, we have the Giants and Bills. I think this game is going to be close for a while. I think the Giants are going to circle the wagons for about 2.5 quarters, keep it close, and then Buffalo will score a couple touchdowns in the fourth quarter to put it away for a 37-17 win. The Monday night game is the Cowboys and the Chargers. I have the Chargers taking this, the LA Chargers taking this 28-21. And man, will Cowboys Nation lose their mind if they fall to 3-3. And the final game that I'm picking this week is Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Jags winning this 28-26. They hold on a 2-point conversion with 14 seconds left to get the win and move into sole possession of first place of the NFC South. So that's my week 6 picks. And then the Eagles are traveling to the New York Jets. That game is going to be interesting. I don't know what to make as long as the Eagles score one more point by any means necessary. I don't care if it's 3-2. I don't care if it's 11-10. I don't care if it's 51-50. Just get the W and get ready for Miami Week 7 Sunday night. So with that, I have my updated tier heading into Week 6. I have the CEOs of the NFL, the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. I have the COOs, Miami, Dolphins, and the Detroit Lions. Chief Financial Operators, these are teams, they can either go up a slot or down a slot. And they are the Seattle Seahawks, the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Dallas Cowboys. The regional vice presidents, Jacksonville Jaguars, Atlanta Falcons, the LA Chargers, New Orleans Saints, and the Cleveland Browns. The regional assistant vice president, I have the Packers, Washington, and the Indianapolis Colts. Regional managers, I have the Texans, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Rams. Now, the Steelers can start moving their way up the corporate ladder if they keep stringing some wins together. If they're ugly, I don't care, because there's no such thing as an ugly win. All wins are beautiful and pretty. So put that argument to bed. There's no style points in the NFL. There's no posters to impress. There's no committee to impress. You just get the dub and get out of town. So if the Steelers can start creeping up like that. Our team leaders, I have the Jets and the Bengals. Now, are the Bengals primed for a run? Because it does look like the Burrow to Chase connection is back. Or was that just a one-game blip? We'll see. But right now, I have the Jets and Bengals as my team leaders. Hourly employees, the Vikings, Cardinals, Vegas, Bears start preparing for the trading deadline if you're selling for these teams, and the 2024 draft. And the bathroom attendants, sell if you have to sell, get ready for the draft, tank for Caleb, the Giants, the Patriots, the Panthers, and the Broncos. And what is up with the Patriots? 2 weeks in a row, Coach Belichick gets his worst loss, 38-3 to Dallas, and then 31-0. Holy moly! What is going on with the New England Patriots? And then my MVP, 5, I have Josh Allen. 4, I have Patrick Mahomes. 3, I have Tua. 2, Brock Purdy. And number 1, Christian McCaffrey. And I know Christian McCaffrey's not going to win the MVP, but it is nice to have a non-quarterback in there. And then, like I said, Defensive Player of the Year right now, TJ Watt is ahead of Parsons and Bosa. So that's the NFL. Comment below who your picks are this week. Comment below, am I right with my corporate business tier? Is my corporate ladder correct? My MVP team or my MVP players, are they correct? All right, so now on to the NCAA this week. This week, the big one was the Red River rivalry with Oklahoma and Texas. And every time we say Texas is back, this happens. They go down 34-30 to Oklahoma. Oklahoma goes the length of the field. In like 4 plays, they go 70 yards or 75 yards in 4 plays and score a touchdown with 14 seconds left. So Texas, though, with one loss, they're probably going to see Oklahoma again in the championship game of the Big 12. They may get revenge, and they're not eliminated from the playoffs, but they're going to, if they do have a rematch, they're going to have to beat Oklahoma in that rematch. Ohio State played against, like I said last episode, Maryland is good this year, and they had Ohio State on the rope. Ohio State was primed for an upset, but it was tied at 17, and then Ohio State just put Marvin Harrison Jr. just took over, and Ohio State pulled away for a 37-17 win. And then Louisville, sorry, brother, Louisville just took the hammer on Notre Dame and officially eliminated Notre Dame from the playoff. 33-20, Louisville beat Notre Dame. It was just a physical, when I had on, it was just a physical mismatch. The physicality of Louisville impressed me, and they're creeping up to that top 10. And, of course, Penn State had the bye this week. And then my last college football thing for the week, Miami Hurricanes. WTAF. Take the knee. Miami was up, I think they were up 4. There was like 30 seconds left. Georgia Tech had no timeouts, or 40 seconds. They had to snap the ball so they wouldn't get a delay of game. They snap the ball on 3rd down and take the knee. You don't even have to run a 4th down. You don't even have to punt. The game's over. They run a play, hand off to a running back, who on replay looked like he was down. They reviewed it, but the call stood. And Georgia Tech went right down the field in like 30 seconds and like 4 plays and defeated the Miami Hurricanes. Coach Cristobal, just take the knee. What are you doing? Coaching stuff like that is maddening. You know, as a former coach, when you see another coach do that, wow. Calling that coach stupid is a disservice to all the stupid coaches out there. That's grounds for firing right on the spot. Just hand in your employee ID badge. Just hand in all your equipment and then tell them to walk home. Just tell them to walk home. That's embarrassing to lose that way. And I guess it's not the first time Coach Cristobal has had it happen. It happened when he was in Oregon. He could have just taken a knee. He did the same thing, ran a play, Oregon fumbled, and then whoever they were playing a few years ago scored a touchdown to beat them. It's stuff like that that just drives me crazy. I'm glad it was another team and not Penn State. So this week's big games, we have Miami and North Carolina this week. We have USC going to Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, the 3rd straight week, they are playing an undefeated team in prime time. First, it was Duke, where they escaped, or I'm sorry, it's going to be the 4th one. They had Ohio State, then Duke, and then now Louisville, and then now they have USC coming up. It should be interesting to see if Notre Dame's offense has success against that Swiss cheese defense that USC has. But they got Caleb Williams, and he could score 24 points by accident. I think Notre Dame will have to keep USC under 28 to have a shot. Penn State homecoming against UMass. Not the best opponent, but it's the reality of a 14 playoff. You're trying to get your team to a playoff, and you have to schedule how you have to schedule. The SEC has been doing it for years, and Big Ten teams are starting to do it. So Penn State is taking on UMass for homecoming. And then the game of the day, number 8 Oregon and number 7 Washington. That should be a fun one. I'm interested to see how that game is going to pan out. So we'll see how that game pans out. We'll see how Notre Dame and USC. That's an interesting matchup. But here's my top 10 this week. I have Michigan at 1, Georgia at 2, Ohio State at 3, Florida State at 4, Penn State at 5. Top 5 didn't change since last week. I have Oklahoma at 6, Washington 7, Oregon 8, Texas 9, Alabama 10, and the next 2 teams looking in to try to get into that top 10, North Carolina and USC. So enjoy the football games. Comment below who you think the top 10 is. Comment below on the college games coming up this weekend. What game are you focusing on? I still think Caleb Williams is the Heisman front runner. I don't even think there's a runner-up because as long as he's healthy and on the field, and he's going to win. He should win back-to-back Heismans as long as he keeps progressing the way he is. The gap between him and the number 2 guy is like the size of the Grand Canyon. And then finally, Major League Playoffs this week, the divisional series. 3 division series are done, and we have the American League Championship series set. It's an all-Texas affair. The Texas Rangers versus the Houston Astros, who are making their 7th straight trip to the ALCS. They beat the Twins in 4, and Texas swept Baltimore, who had 103 wins, and they got swept in the division series. Last night in the National League, Arizona eliminated the Dodgers. Again, the Dodgers don't even make it out of the divisional round. It's another Western wild card team. Last year it was the Padres. This year it's the Diamondbacks, who are awaiting the winner of the Phillies and Braves series, which I predicted to go 5. That could end tonight in Philly. If the Phillies beat the Braves, we're going to have a Phillies Diamondbacks NLCS. Last night's game was electric. Bryce Harper, thank you, Brian Cashman, for not even wanting to talk to him. So Phillies fans and the Phillies can enjoy Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper wanted to be a Yankee. His agent made some contact with Brian Cashman, but Brian Cashman, the genius that he is, said no. That alone, not talking to Bryce Harper when he was a free agent, is a fireable offense. Fireable offense. And Brian Cashman should have been walked out of his office, taken down to the next, the closest school, and put on lunchroom staff. That's what should have happened to Brian Cashman. But the Phillies got him. Now he fits that Philly persona, that underdog story. They don't like us. And what did he do last night? Game tied at 1. He hit a flipping bomb to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And then next at bat, he hits another bomb towards Pittsburgh. And then the Phillies hit 6 home runs last night. So game 4 tonight, Thursday night. So by the time this is uploaded and out, the Phillies may have already advanced to the NLCS. And I'm seeing already people crying and complaining because the Dodgers and Baltimore lost. Boo-hoo-hoo. Who flooping who? The Astros keep chugging along. They have a first-round bye. They keep going. No one... They don't complain. They just win. They get the job done. Right? But in the National League, it seems that we need to change the format because the Dodgers and Braves for the 2nd straight year didn't make it out of the division series. No, I don't care. I get it. Baseball is a rhythm sport. You want to keep playing. You want to get your at-bats in. You want to get that rhythm going. But Houston's on the bye, and they're in their 7th straight ALCS. So I don't want to hear the format should be changed. And plus, Texas is better than a wild card team. They were in, I think the division went down, it was them the Rangers, Mariners, and Astros went down to the last weekend. So the Rangers could have easily won the division, and it could have been the Astros, the wild card team. So I don't want to hear anything about changing the format. I don't want to hear anything about reseeding right now. Though I do think Major League Baseball should reseed. I do think the highest remaining seed should go to the number one seed. But right now, that's not the format, and this is the format. And honestly, I think the Braves are done. The Braves want no part of Philly right now. They want no part of the team. They want no part of the city. They want no part of the stadium. I think it's done. We're going to see what they're made out of. We're going to see what the Braves are made out of. Because when the pitching stinks, the lineup isn't there to carry them. If you have decent pitching, you can shut down the Braves. When their pitching craps their pants, their lineup, albeit it's good, if you can shut their lineup down, you're going to beat them. And that's what the Phillies are doing. Aside from the game 2 when they scored 4 runs in the last couple innings. So I'm predicting the Phillies to end it tonight. I'm predicting the Phillies and D-backs in the NLCS championship game, or championship series. We have the Astros and we have the Rangers. So that's your Major League Baseball playoff. What do you think? Should they change the format? Should something be done to keep the 1 and 2, at least the 1 seed maybe? I don't know. Another what can you do? Add another wild card team? Like I said, 3 wild cards is too much. So what are your ideas if they change the format? Should they go back to just the wild card plan, and then that winner plays the number 1 seed, and then 2 plays 3? The other two divisions play against each other. What do you think? And what do you think is the problem with the Dodgers? Why can't the Dodgers get out of the division series? And the World Series they did win was a 60-game season in which it was a controlled environment where there was hardly any. There may have been a few hundred people in the stands by that time in 2020. But what do you think? Why do you think the Dodgers can't get out of the division series? Here's what I think it is. I just think other teams, especially a Western opponent, know them. That's why it's easy for the Padres. It's easy for the Diamondbacks to go up against the Dodgers because they faced Clayton Kershaw all year. They've pitched to that lineup, so they know how to beat them. They may not have beat them in the regular season, but they know how to get it done. They know the path to get there. So enjoy the games this weekend, and enjoy football this weekend. Enjoy the baseball playoffs. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Pass this video along to anybody who likes sports, who likes cigars, who just wants to chat. Keep the conversation going in the comments. And until we talk again next week, arrivederci.